Good evening, all. Konbanwa, welcome. So, just trying something. No, you're not on the wrong channel. Honestly, I've got saxophones. They're right down there. Look, you can see one there. I just thought I'd try something different for a change. So the intro was me noodling away on this live. This is the shakuhachi. It's the bamboo end blown Japanese flute. Play it that way. And a lot of tonight is inspired by this flute. And hi guys, hi everybody, you're out there. And a special thank you to Andrew Ford. He's on his holidays and he's breaking off to listen in live to the sax workshop. What I'd really like to know, Andy, is whether you took your sax on holiday to Cornwall with you. Are you Cornwall or Devon? St Austell. St Austell. It's down that way anyway. So, well done, mate. When you said you were going to, I thought you were on your way home. That's why. Anyway, you're all very welcome. So, I love my saxes, obviously, and honestly and thoroughly, but I do love that shakuhachi too. And I've been extraordinarily lucky that not last weekend, the one before and the one before that, there was an online European shakuhachi festival, weekends of workshops, and really inspiring. And I particularly love the crossover between different disciplines, not only different musical instruments, but also, sports and mathematics. There are so many things that cross over. I went to a masterclass by Ian Poulter, the golfer, once. Now, I don't play, but my son William, he was passionate about it. So, and I thought he was talking about, what's going through your mind before you strike the ball and all that. And I thought, yeah, man, it's so much crossover. I love it. And even more so, as you'd imagine, between shakuhachi playing and saxophone operating. And so on the face of it, as you just heard, they're so different, but the parallels, that's inspired me in a few ways for tonight. And being able to learn from great shakuhachi masters. And I know I've spoken a lot about posture and tension and trapped energy and lightness of touch. Often different names and descriptions for the same thing, really. And the more relaxed and light and beautifully poised we can be, the more chance that the sound is going to power out thick and juicy and wonderful. And also the opposite is true, of course. Any tension, hunching and crunching, tightening, poor posture or embouchure squeezing, it's going to harm and compromise our sound. It's going to come out in the sound. And so I was really fascinated that I actually struggle more to achieve that lightness with the shakuhachi than I do with the saxophone. Constantly I'm playing a piece or practicing, and I find that I'm tightening up here and down the arms, and it seems ridiculous. I mean, it's a light instrument, and it's only got 4 holes in and a thumb hole, but maybe it's because I've only been playing it 20 years and I've been on the saxophones for 45. But feeling tension there reminded me that sometimes the same thing gets introduced on the sax. Also, maybe a factor is it's ridiculously hard. It's a flute embouchure, but it's 10 times as hard as a Western flute. So I'll start with a few tips that I picked up or that I thought of because of honing in on the shakuhachi so much, and then we'll maybe pick the horns up and do a bit of playing, or not. I'll demonstrate some stuff, and I'd love you to play along if you want to. There was a guy called Horatio Curtis from Barcelona, and he came out with a statement which I absolutely loved. I've kind of padded it out a bit with my own thoughts, but it's regarding sound and projection and fullness and resonance. He says a great aim for us to have is to fill the performance space, absolutely fill it with great sound, but without shouting. I thought, yeah, I love that. And he spoke a bit more of a cerebral, is that right word, way about accepting how we sound today in the here and now. We're so critical, especially us Brits, we're so modest and bashful, aren't we? And we're striving, which is fine. It's fine to be critical and to be striving all the time, but not to be angry or frustrated because maybe it's not as good as it was the other day. I'm going backwards. I've plateaued. I'm not as good. I've got to accept that there are peaks and troughs, and maybe some aspects have slipped, but there'll be other things that are better. And find good parts, find reasons to celebrate, and say, yeah, you know what? There's some good bits. That was a good note. And, it just got me to thinking as well. I love the word flow and the concept of energy flowing, and the energy and air from our bodies directly into our horns, and then it gets shaped into sound and then fills the room. Beautiful. So although I give you all this technical stuff, these sometimes quite obscure exercises that I encourage you to do and analogies, ultimately I want you to forget all that and pick up the horn and just blow and immerse yourself in it. Breathe in and let rip, keeping the busy mind out of the equation as much as possible. So along your journey you'll find use, I really hope, for all this stuff I've given you over the whole lockdown. What is this, number 21 tonight? And you'll discipline yourselves and incorporate this stuff into your practice regimes. I know you will. Thinking of me sometimes, maybe cursing me at other times, but ultimately I want you to forget it all. Forget me, forget all the drills, and just blow and be in the moment on a good day anyway. And the next day you can go back to the drawing board. So have your horns ready now. A horn, I mean, if you'd like to. It really doesn't matter, because I can't hear you anyway. But so I've come up with 3-ish sort of new drills, new exercises for you and for me. These are all brand new. They're all about connected with tone and control. And I really like them. I hope you do too. They're not as horrible as some of the ones I've given you, honestly. They're relaxing and gentle and meditative, maybe because they're inspired by the shakuhachi. But even if you don't love them as much as I do, give them a chance anyway, because one thing that they'll enable you to do is to have variety in your practice. Really, really, really important and useful, so that you're not doing the same tone exercises every time you start your practice session. You can, 1 week you can do the Zen note, coming out of the breath, powering up and going down, and some steps, and then the next week you could pick a different one from here. The more choice and variety we've got, the more focused and interested we keep. So this first one, and needs some explanation, I call it Robuki, and maybe it's a stretch to call it new. It's nothing that you don't know about, but it's just a different concept, I guess, on shakuhachi. There's an idea called, hey Bruno, boa tarde. There's on the shakuhachi, there's a concept or a routine that we do as shak players called Robuki. Ro is our lowest note. It's like our lowest basic carry note, it's called. We can get a bit lower with a bend of the head, weirdly. So that note is called Ro. Ro, and Buki means to blow. So at the start of just about every practice session and the start of a workshop, and sometimes the start of a group performance, we all play that note for minimum 5 minutes, sometimes up to 10, 15 minutes. And it's very meditative. So, I mean, some days it's a really difficult note, so some days it's annoying as well. But, I mean, one gets annoyed with oneself. Although accepting, as I was just mentioning, not cross. And when you do it as a group, it's especially lovely. And during lockdown COVID times, we started this thing worldwide called the Robuki Wave, where we all did it at midday every day and occasionally videoed ourselves. But what the main point was that we were all doing it and sending that Robuki wave around the world. It was great. And so it's fantastic. It's beneficial for body and mind and control and stamina especially. And some of the shakuhachi teachers speak of this thing called a general brush. In other words, you're doing an exercise like this and you kind of brush over it, not in a dismissing it way, but in a way that can pick up all kinds of different things and pick out different aspects, have a little conversation with yourself, because it lasts so long. And you're not having to think about music or fingerings or anything, that you can have all kinds of discussions about richness and resonance and the length of notes and the way your dynamics are moving and all that kind of thing. So I thought, why can't we do it on saxophones? And then I thought, well, of course we can. So, normally we never play any note for more than sort of 15, 20 seconds maximum, and we're off to another note, aren't we? Off on our journey. But I think it's worth you having. And so if you pick one of your, I like it low, I think maybe because it's low on the shakuhachi. So I'm calling this exercise lobuki, the blowing of a low note. And we won't do it for 15 minutes today, but let's do it for a couple of minutes. And so pick your, my favorite today is a low E on the tenor. That's my favorite today. It's my friend. So you could pick the same as me if you're on tenor. You could pick low E. If you're on alto, you'd have to go for a low B, which is pretty low. Or if you played your E on alto, then we're a fourth apart. That would be nice. That would resonate well. On tenor, you could go for a G or an A, and then we'd be a minor third or a fourth apart, or just match me on the E. And let's just play it a few times. Hit it in different ways, like starting soft, getting loud, going to soft, or the other way around, or with some vibrato, or not with bends and glissandos. Let's keep it fairly straight. A bit of vib if you want, but let's keep it fairly straight and just listen to the quality of the note and how it's growing and how it starts and how it finishes. So let's have one or two, and then we'll think about it more and do some more. So kind of in your own time, but with me. Let's vary it a little bit. Let's do one that starts really loud, ducks down, nearly dies, and then comes back up. So start it with your diaphragm or with a soft tongue, whatever you want. Now let's start one as quiet as we can and get as loud as we can. And now this is another shakuhachi concept. Let's play it as though it's an empty bell, a bell with no clapper, but a big temple bell being struck, and then we let the sound decay in a kind of triangle or wedge shape, like the decaying of the sound of the bell. So let's think about that. Play a couple more. Let's play one or two which are kind of mid-volume, everything, no vibrato. Start neatly, end beautifully without a kind of hiccup or splodge or any change of intonation. One last one. So, not really a brand new exercise, but a new way of doing your long notes. Sometimes, once in a while, and 5 minutes. All we played is that same low note, whichever note you went for. So we've honed in on it so much and listened to the resonance and how they change from each other, and it becomes quite a deep exercise. And some of them were probably really long, 20, 25 seconds. So we really, that low E has become my best friend now. And when I go to another note, it's gonna really shock me because it sounds so different. And you play them nice and straight. And we're all funky soul jazz players. We love vibrato and bends and falls and false fingerings and growls and things. But let's make this a very pure exercise. If you do it together, with colleagues, friends, try unison, exactly the same note, and then get into some harmonies and just enjoy the way the resonance changes and the pulses. It's great. Okay. Right, the next one is called vibing. I don't know about these names. I might come up with something better. But with the shakuhachi, one of the teachers who was leading the Robuki, because every day's workshops started with a half an hour session, which was a different one of the teachers introducing his concepts about what Robuki meant to him, giving us a few tips, and then we'd play together for 10-15 minutes. And this one guy was saying, okay, next time you play, really feel the vibration of the air in your fingertips, which you really can on the shakuhachi. The holes are big. And you can really feel it kind of tingling away on your fingers. It's lovely. So I thought, well, you can do that on the sax. You play a sax and you can feel the instrument vibrating, and also, well, we'll do it together. You can also feel, obviously, the reeds vibrating, but you can feel the bones in your face vibrating. If you curl your tongue up, put it onto the roof of your mouth while a long note is playing, you can really feel the vibrations in the bones of your mouth. So, once again, works nice on low notes, and you could combine it with the low buki, really. So I go for that same E again. So I'm already feeling it in my mouth and feeling it in the body of the instrument. But if I just curl my little finger onto the bell and curl my tongue up onto the roof of my mouth. So you try that with me on any old long note. There we go. See the curl, you can, unless you've got very short fingers, you can get your little finger onto the bell there. And I just love that. It is something you don't normally think about. Obviously, we know that the sound we make is vibrating air, but how often do we stop and think about it? And if you go for your lowest G, I want you to just play it briefly first. And then I want you to play it again and feel around your face with your spare hand. Just feel your jaw, feel your cheeks, feel under there, and maybe your teeth as well. Feels like our whole bodies are vibrating. It's a great feeling. And then do the G. Bear with me, I know you are. Come on, yeah, it's great. You're not chatting, that means you're doing it. So I want you to play the G again and just let your right arm fall by your side. which in itself is a different experience. But then I want you to bring that right hand and sort of cuddle the bottom of the instrument, maybe put your thumb over the C sharp key and hold that sort of firmly, not tightly, and feel the vibes down there. So you're going to have to play the G. That's as low as you can go. And also if you're holding the instrument against, it'll be your hip, won't it, or your thigh, depending if you're sitting or standing and how tall you are and which instrument you're on. But if you sort of push it into your body as well, you feel the vibration that way. So I don't know if that grabs you. It grabs me. And it combines nicely with the lobuki. And you can happily spend 5-10 minutes just zoning out. It's like meditation, honestly. It's great. And actually following the workshop where, I can't remember his name, but it'll come to me. It's a French gentleman. He introduced us to this, well, just encouraged us to feel it. Well, I've felt them before, but I'm sure months go by and I don't take time to enjoy that feeling. So I was so pleased. I wrote a haiku about it in this tradition which we have on the snaky stream. So I'll give you that. Vibration of air. Fingertips receive with love. Bamboo shapes my breath. So I was quite pleased with that. I tried to turn it into sax and it doesn't fit so well because you've got to substitute something for bamboo. Oh yeah, we could. Yeah, the bamboo's still fine, isn't it? Because of the reed. Yes, I'm happy now. Okay, let me swap saxes for this next one. I'm being unfair to the alto players. So the third and final, and possibly the best of these three new, are they exercises, drills, experiences, random snaky thoughts? I'm not quite sure what they are. Anyway, this last one, it's the newest, and it's also got a title. It's called The Slowdown. And so it involves another element of shakuhachi playing that I want to talk about and would like us to try. In our sax playing, generally, not so much actually with this stuff I've been showing you, but normally in our playing, in our practicing, playing scales, playing pieces, playing studies, we need to get those breaths in at quick o'clock, don't we? A quick sniff or a quick gulp is all we ever have time for. And we don't breathe slowly, do we? It would end badly if we breathe slowly playing the saxophone. But the shakuhachi player almost never has to do that. The in-breath is long and considered, and then there's often a slight pause before actually playing. And the vast majority of music that was written for the shakuhachi, there's a little bit of modern stuff that's different, but the great amount of traditional shakuhachi music, it has either no rhythm at all or a very loose kind of pulse time which ebbs and flows with the player's feelings, and he or she can then take as long as they like over the breaths. It adds to the music, it never detracts. So I thought to myself, why can't we sax players get a bit of that as well? Would it be worth us practicing sax with that mentality every now and again? And guess what? I decided yes, it would. Why? Because it'll make us think in a completely different way. It'll make us really focus on the breathing well, efficiently and fully. And also, perhaps most importantly, but teach us a little bit about space. Ma, M-A, as the Japanese call it. It's incredibly important in so much Japanese art and culture, from the flower arranging to the gardening to the music. And we don't have as much space in our Western culture and music. And I don't know, I've said this before, and it's a bit of a cliche. This is not the first time you've heard it, but the spaces between the notes are as important as the notes themselves, and they're what gives the notes gravity and beauty and importance and significance. So, I mean, if I just play you the first couple of phrases of a tune I learned in one of these workshops. And then you're on to your next phrase, and not much has happened really in 30 seconds. So, can we have a go? I'm going to sort of lead us into a bit of a slowdown workshop. So, I definitely want us to breathe in through our nostrils for a variety of reasons. It's more healthy generally to breathe, it filters the air, but more importantly, it's more demanding. It's quite easy to just get your air in through your mouth, and for that reason it's easier to find ourselves breathing higher than we really ought to, as musicians anyway. Well, as human beings we should breathe low. And because the nostril breathing takes a bit more effort, we subconsciously or unconsciously engage the diaphragm more, and we breathe more fully and more deeply. So a lot of added value, nostril breathing. So my idea is that we'll take a good deep breath, play a single note or a short phrase or some flurries. Let's agree on a key, let's say concert F minor, so G minor for B flat people, tenors, sopranos, and G for tenors and D minor for altos, G minor and D minor. So I'll demo it, but it goes like this. It's really easy. Deep breath in, slight pause, play a bit, and then stop playing, expel any air that's still in your lungs. Not like a deflated balloon, but finish the out breath if it's not finished, which it probably won't be. And that doesn't really matter whether it's through your mouth or your nose. And then same again, you go around a circle. So if you're a player who has never improvised and you think, what note should I go for? Let me just give you two extra notes. So if you're on alto, you've got your G. Let's have 2 and 3. Let's have the A and the B flat, the second and the minor third. So you've got 3 notes. You can have the octaves as well. You got your tonic and your first, and your tonic and your second and your third. No, that's tenor, isn't it? Sorry. So altos are in D minor, so it'd be D, E, F natural, top D if you want it on top. Those 3 notes, D, E, F natural. Tenors, G, A, B flat. So I'll do one on my own, and then let's all do some together. So the timing doesn't matter, but I'll kind of just lead it with nods and loud breaths. So. So if we do some together, come with me. Come with me on the journey. So, okay. So let's just go. How did it feel? I hope you liked it. I absolutely love that one, honestly. Shakuhachi, as you will have gathered, especially if you're listening to me noodling away over the intro, is generally a more meditative, is that the word? Meditative and floaty beast. I'm sure you gathered that. And sometimes, on a good day when it's going well, shakuhachi practice is like half practicing and half meditation. But so I really wanted to bring that meditative element into our sax practice. Why not? I thought, and the mental space that gives us with the short pause as well, it works magical wonders. And it's fantastic for your improvisation because you have all that time and your mind goes, oh, that's where I'm going next because I like it. And then it pops out, and then I just want the tonic, that's all. And so that space is absolutely fantastic. And then combined with the physical benefits of really working that diaphragm and feeling the body fill from the bottom up, that's just amazing too. So that's another reason why I love it so much. It's got two benefits that are quite different from each other, a physical and a musical one. And so I don't know, I really hope you like it. It's there you go. So they're all world premieres. I mean, that one is only about 4 or 5 days old, and the other two are, they're nearly 10 days old. So give them a go, and it's something to substitute some days. And that last one is the slowdown. Is a nice one to do at any point of your practice. It might be a nice way to finish a session. The other two, to my mind, make more sense to do at the very beginning as part of your warm up. But you do them whenever you like. Of course, they're yours to have. So that's it really. I'll natter on a little bit in case you've got questions. All right, JJ, to put that kazoo away now. And I meant to say, if you're not on the chat because you're not that way inclined, or you're not signed up to YouTube, although you should sign up to my channel. That's what you're supposed to say if you're a YouTuber. And if you want to get a message to us, you can email sally@snakedavis.rocks. I meant to say that at the beginning and forgot, or did I? I don't know. snakedavis.rocks, that's the website, and that's good for general information, signing up to the mailing list. Or donating is important these days when there's no gigs. If you want to buy me a reed or a coffee, there's a big old tip jar on the front page there. And there's also some free stuff. if you're skint like us musicians. And of course, send us messages, and there's details of gigs when they come back online. We're just starting the odd one or two, and an online video tuition hints and tips thing that's coming up as well. So and check out all that stuff. Yeah, it's got to be good, Andy. But you know, is it a relaxing holiday, or is it a running around, racing around, sightseeing holiday, or is it a bit of both? But yeah, honestly, I'm going to make these things up primarily for myself, and then I share them with you. And that last one, it's beautiful, honestly, in my opinion. So big thanks to Joe, the technical brains behind all the streaming that I do. He makes these things happen. And to Sally, who keeps the whole wheels in motion and the Snake Davis empire on its feet. Great to spend some time with you, as always. And be back streaming evening concerts this coming week. Saturday, a bit of everything. Sunday, I've got the wonderful Helen Watson with me for the whole night, live in the building. She'll be right there. So that's very exciting. And keep in touch. I'm very easy to find. And it's a pleasure to spend a bit of time with you. I'll see you very soon.